Now, new concern, the threat may already be inside the U.S., as officials warn some individuals could be slipping through with little to no background data. Senior border correspondent Ali Bradley is live for us at the southern border in Del Rio, Texas. So, Ali, new concerns about people on the terror watch list making it into the U.S.
Yeah, you're exactly right here, Nichole. That is the concern, that some of these individuals that were on this terrorist watch list, that were in the FBI databases, they may have made it into the United States. Officials say in some of these cases, the background checks on these migrants took too long and actually ended up being released before results would come back, only later flagging these potential threats. Take a listen to what a former Border Patrol sector chief said about this issue.
Now, again, the system is only as good as the system. If somebody hits all those flags and there was no derogatory information when they did their initial reviews, most of the time they were placed into ICE custody for detention. That was protocol. And we do know that there was one or two incidents where after a day or two in ICE custody, they were released. And then we had delayed hits, sometimes a week or more, that said, wait, we need to talk to this person.
Yeah, delayed hits. At the same time, investigators are warning that 10,000 fraudulent or improperly issued passports out of Venezuela have been given to foreign nationals, including those from Iran, Lebanon, and Syria, some with known Hezbollah or Hamas ties. Experts say if someone presents a real passport under a false identity, detection becomes far more difficult. And then when we talk about gotaways, those who evade agents entirely, there's no vetting at all. A former Navy intelligence officer telling NewsNation that Iran has sought to exploit those gaps using networks in Venezuela to move people and documents.
We have a country like Venezuela who opened their doors to this regime's interest in the U.S., and it basically opened the door in the Americas for them to walk in. And how did they do that? Well, they weaponized migration. Venezuela's weaponization of mass migration out of Venezuela to the U.S. helped that some of these terrorist members actually made it through the U.S. southern border.
Now, Nichole, officials say that they are making some improvements to the vetting systems, but those vulnerabilities still remain. If a country does not play well with the United States, if it's an adversarial nation, they're not providing data and information on individuals that are leaving their country and coming to ours. So that vulnerability will remain. The current CBP commissioner actually testified in the past that it's like vetting against an empty hard drive. As you heard the chief say there, your system is only as good as the system. So if we don't have that information, it's an empty hard drive, Nichole.
Absolutely. So the FBI also, Ali, is saying that that attack that happened at a Michigan synagogue was inspired by Hezbollah. What more are you learning?
Yeah, it was apparently inspired by Hezbollah, and also this individual wanted to kill as many Jewish people as possible. That's what he claimed. Now, investigators say 41-year-old Ayman Ghazali sat in his truck for hours outside Temple, Israel, before crashing through the doors and opening fire. More than 150 children and staff were inside at the time. No one was killed, but a security guard was hurt before the gunman took his own life. Just minutes before the attack, Ghazali sent videos to a family member overseas saying he planned to, quote, kill as many as I possibly can. The FBI calls it a Hezbollah-inspired act of terrorism, noting Ghazali had researched Jewish sites days earlier, bought an AK-style rifle and hundreds of rounds, and practiced shooting ahead of the attack. Now, authorities say that he gained his U.S. citizenship, but he also had familial ties to Hezbollah, including his brother, who was identified as a commander who was killed in Lebanon earlier this month, Nichole. So a lot to unpack with that one, but certainly cause for concern with that attack.
Absolutely. All right, Ali Bradley, live for us there at the southern border. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.